Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's episode, what we're going to be doing is an opening masterclass of the Exchange Variation Caro-Kann. Boom, we have it on the board. And look, my opponent's name is Clip. My name is Kip, so let's get to it. I think I actually have to develop this knight first, and then this knight. I'm not really sure if it really matters, but I've done it in the wrong move order sometimes. So that whole masterclass about the opening is it's pretty simple. Openings like this, I mean, look, we got a symmetrical, like completely symmetrical structure. The only imbalance is he has traded this pawn for this pawn, okay? And so right now the bishops are looking at each other. My game plan is going to be trade off those and then put my pawns on light squares. Then what we're going to do is develop my bishop, so if he takes, I take back. So that's pretty cool. I'll even pre-move it. He wants to go for a pin. So first I'm going to tickle him. If he wants to step back, it is what it is. If he takes, that's a bad move for him. So sometimes you want to throw in these little tickling the bishop moves, because there's like a 15% chance he does what he just did right there. And then, you know what I mean? Now I have the only bishop on the board, and that's a good thing for me. So, I mean, I'm 1900. This dude's 1936 with a question mark. Joined 2 years ago. So that's, I feel like, a decently accurate question mark number. So bishop's under attack. Fork is under attack. Not a great way to defend it. So we're going to step all the way back because I don't want to give up my bishop. I could go forward, but that probably is going to walk into, like, if I step in, I don't know, some ideas. Long story short, we don't want to get forked and we don't want to lose the bishop for no reason. So we need to think of an alternative plan. What are we going to do to save both of those things at once? My immediate response was step all the way back, then kick him out and maybe put the bishop on this. So I think we're actually going to go for that. It's safer than putting my piece on the opponent's side of the board, and I wasn't convinced that this was a great idea. This pawn push seems to make sense now to me. That's probably what I would play if I was playing the white pieces, or getting real confident with this. But we're going to stick with the game plan of tickling this knight. We don't want the knight on our side of the board applying pressure to stuff like that. Now, I was going to do this, but I think we need to castle. I do kind of want my bishop to get up, like, somewhere. So we're just going to put it here, just so that the rooks see each other. If you noticed, when the bishop was here, this rook was undefended, and it was just a little bit of an uncomfortable position. So now this knight wants to go here. Don't really want that knight to go there, so I can push forward to stop that. It's probably not the greatest plan in the world. I could also threaten him. The drawback of this is I'll never be able to station my bishop here. So, like, if I was able to get my bishop wrapped around and attack this, he can just defend it super easily. So let's just push a pawn. Let's just push a pawn. If this happens, we can take. Then I maybe step over. Okay, so he attacks my knight. And, dear Lord, also attacks my bishop. So what are we going to do about that? Well, we are going to defend it tactically. We're going to step over, which defends the bishop, but it does not defend the knight. But if he takes the knight, we hit him with this. Oh! He saw it. What a clever chess boy. That is a clever chess boy if I have ever seen one. So the problem here is this knight's doing a great job of preventing this knight from living on this square. This bishop's doing a great job of defending this pawn. This whole idea doesn't work anymore. So stepping over. But then that allows this. No, it doesn't. I can just take. I think we gotta go for something. Can't just sit around twiddling my thumbs doing nothing. The problem with this, if I capture here, is for one, the pawn attacks my queen, and then for two, I am letting go of the defense of this. So boom, boom, boom. For one, I can grab this pawn. He's going for this pawn. This dude is just all over the place. I can jump into the position. I can jump back, actually. Let's do that. That seems to make a little bit of sense to me. Plus, I'm lower on the clock, so if we repeat moves, I'm okay with that. Wait, was this just hanging the whole time? Okay, so let's just let his knight get into the position, okay? This fork and this pawn. Man, he's just like applying pressure in every possible way. We jump forward and attack the queen. He steps over. I can't even take this because he's got two defenders. Well, we don't really want to get forked. Don't have a lot of great alternatives. Activity over everything. We're sort of meagerly threatening checkmate, so we're trying to prevent this knight from jumping to the middle. Okay, so he goes ahead and does that. Awesome. Terrific. Splendid. This is absolutely no fun. Absolutely no fun. Our opponent is really just getting the best of us. This 1936 just is a world-class chess player. Also, this pawn is hanging. I feel like just everything in my position is hanging. What on earth? What would Jesus do? I mean, I'm just really striving to preserve this this bishop. I'm not sure if hanging onto this bishop after all of these moves really made a lot of sense. And I can jump forward and attack the queen and allow this, but then I have this. So jump forward and attack the queen. Boom. 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 Wait a minute. You can't do this because I get this fork. Activity over everything. Down a pawn, but I'm feeling a little active. This doesn't work, I don't believe, because I get the fork. And I'm attacking the queen. And if the queen goes here, it gets kind of sketchy. Okay, so he just hangs the queen. It is what it is. I'm going to give him a take back. Give him a take back. Don't worry. I'm a reasonable man. I know that I have 56 seconds on the clock, but I'm going to give him the take back. Okay, so he doesn't want the take back. Everybody saw it. I tried to do it. Queen is under attack, so I'm going to step here. Probably one of these knights is going to the middle, but now I feel real nice about just trading that off. And also my queen is not on this square, so we're going to just trade that off. He gets in like this. I can grab this pawn. I can grab this pawn. We're sort of worried about this. I think taking this pawn is more important. The reason I think that is because that makes this pawn really weak. So that's one thing. The pawn is really weak. And then for two, I'm not sure grabbing this made a whole lot of sense. I could sacrifice the rook. Let's just do this. I think I will sacrifice the rook just to make this more interesting here in the endgame. I'm up 6 points of material. So going bada boom, bada bing with check. Actually, it might just be winning on the spot. Sometimes you can just... And he resigned. Okay, good game. I don't know if it was a great game or anything. And here we are in the analysis. A few days later, because I realized I never actually did an analysis. And now, I normally don't post games where the opponent just hangs their queen in one move. But that's how the game ended. How the game started was actually pretty important. So we're having the Caro-Kann, the main line. They capture, and you're always going to capture back with this pawn, because now we have a pawn in the center of the board and a natural development square for the knight. Really, developing either knight is totally fine, but long story short, you want to get the knights developed before you develop the bishops, because we're kind of undecided what we want to do with the bishop. So sometimes they push this pawn forward, and that's not an idea, or they just develop the bishop, and then the pin is not an idea. So right now, the pin is the right idea, but say that he goes here, then just going here is the right idea, okay? So that's why knights before bishops, because the knights are pretty much always going to go to these squares, and the bishops, you're not 100% sure what is the best idea for the bishop. And so
now, whatever. In this situation, 1000% always your light square bishop for their light square bishop is the right idea, because we're going to capture, he's going to capture back, and then we're going to put our pawns on light squares. And then if you just take stock of the position, the majority of my pawns are on light squares, which means I want to trade my light square bishop for theirs because they have more pawns on dark squares. So my light square bishop was worse than his light square bishop, so trading them equally is actually good for us. Now, in this situation, it's not really good or bad. I'm just trading off pieces, but the reason I want to do this is to develop my queen. The same exact thing that he did to develop his queen, I'm trying to do. And so he steps back here, and what you're pretty much always going to want to do in these positions is give the bishop a tickle, because the best move is to step back, but like 15% of the time they're going to just capture this knight, and then you got rid of his bishop for your knight, like happened in this game. And so that's a bad trade for our opponent. There was really no reason to do that. It literally just developed our queen, and he traded his last and only bishop for our knight. And now we have the only bishop on the board. So we're going to try and preserve that. So instead of going forward and getting tickled and then going back, or doing a Danger's levels where he could like take and then I take, I don't know. I just didn't think that was so great for us. The far more simple move is to just go back. Now this knight is not getting in with these forks. Well, I guess this isn't a fork, but it's a check, and it would totally suck for us, and he would get this pawn. So yes, these two squares are defended by my bishop. So long story short, we're undeveloping the bishop with the idea of kicking this knight out immediately. The knight has to step back. Then we have the opportunity to castle. We step forward with the bishop, kind of just like getting him off the back rank so that the rooks see each other. We step forward because we don't want this knight getting into the position. My pieces are pinned, like my knight is definitely pinned to my bishop, and if I move that, he will just take the bishop. But I have a defensive resource. I kind of got lucky here because I didn't see this move, but luckily I had this, where he can't capture the knight, or I'm going to have this discovery, where the rook is going to see the queen with check. So I sacrifice the bishop, but I get the queen. So luckily, I have this resource. He sees it, so he steps over. So now that resource is no longer an idea, but now I have time to step out of the way with the bishop, or step out of the way with the knight, and whichever one I step out of the way with, the other piece is defended by the rook. Now, I don't know why I didn't just jump forward into the position. I honestly cannot tell you why I avoided this move. I guess I really have no idea. That was the correct move. His knight gets in, I step in, he grabs this pawn, his knight gets out, and then basically in this situation, I'm down a pawn, but his knight is kind of stupid, and I still have the last bishop in the board. So yes, I lost a pawn, but I'm still not losing. Then in this position, I jump forward, and essentially what we're going for is capture, capture, capture. Something along those lines. So like if he steps over, I can still capture, and he still captures back here, and then I could jump away with the knight or whatever, and then this guy is defended, and I'm attacking the queen. So long story short, I lost that pawn, but this knight's journey out of my position, he's also going to lose a pawn, and he's actually losing a little bit in this position. And so I also could have just taken this, where if he takes back, I can take with whichever piece, really. Whoop. And then I get this. And he can't take. He can do a queen trade. Boom, boom. I guess I couldn't take with whatever piece. But instead of doing that, I attack the queen. He doesn't move the queen. I take. My queen is attacked. I step back. I don't think that I showed you guys the graph, but that was 94% accurate and 2 inaccuracies. So it was a near perfect game of chess. That was 5 minutes for the recap. So thank you so much for watching my video. I probably already said something about please subscribe. So please subscribe. Leave a comment. If I missed anything, just let me know. And go play some chess. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.